Hello, true believers. It's your boy Corey here. I'm actually in car rider line, waiting on the two youngest, the babies. I thought I would do a vlog. I think it's the first time I ever used the word vlog. I usually just say video blog post, talking about my new book I'm reading, Play ADHD. You see, Play ADHD. Permission to Play: A Prescription for Adults with ADHD. Since talking to my psychiatrist a couple weeks ago, and he prescribed ADHD medicine, he also wants me to get fully tested, which is like a 4-hour process. But just in doing some research about adults with ADHD, it's been enlightening and it's been a little refreshing because I don't feel alone as much. The one thing I always keep hearing in everyone's discussion is, you as an adult, you're always saying, why isn't my brain normal? And I say, why isn't my brain normal? Why can my brain be like everyone else's? Legit at least 24 times an hour a day. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. When I was a kid, I used to have trouble finishing tests. It's fourth grade, so I was like 10. I used to take those tests, and I would always run out of time. I knew all the answers, I just ran out of time. And again, I'm 47, so 10 was 37 years ago. The 80s, ADHD wasn't really diagnosed as a thing. As a kid, you were stupid or lazy or unmotivated. So when the teacher told my parents about this, my wonderfully abusive, narcissistic, sociopathic parents' process was, well, we'll just sit you down every night with practice tests, and they would set the oven timer, and I'd sit at the kitchen table. Well, this is the old school oven timer. You turn with the dial. It had the clock, and you had to press down, pull out and turn the dial. It was red arm, and then it would click, and you'd hear it clicking each time as minutes go by. And when it got to there, you heard the bell. And whenever I didn't finish this test in time, I got verbally and physically abused for it. So it's always been there. Focus has been an issue. It's weird, like when you read about the symptoms of ADHD, I think on some extent everybody has like one or two of them, and it doesn't mean you're ADHD. You have ADHD, it means you're a normal human being. But when all the boxes start getting checked is where I am. I just had this conversation with my wife the other day. I can remember someone's face 1,000 times away. Cannot remember a name. And when I say can't remember a name, I mean we could meet somewhere, you tell me your name, legit by the time you're done with the end of the excuse me, you're done with the end of the introduction sentence, I have forgotten your name. Know your face, can recognize you in a room full of people, I've forgotten your name. And there's a coworker of my wife's who's always very nice to me, and I just cannot remember her name. And she wears a name tag, and I'd see it all the time. And I legit would see it, walk away, and I'd be like, what is her name? Things like that are some contributors. I don't say any of this to if you think you have ADHD, please, go to your primary care physician, go to a psychiatrist, go to a therapist. I'm not advising, I'm just talking about my interaction with different symptoms. Always the noise in my head and making it hard to focus. Or if I need to focus, it's got to be like, excuse me, it's got to be a bunch of things going on so I can keep my mind in the moment. I'll give you another prime example. A few years ago, before it got outrageously expensive, we used to have NFL Sunday Ticket when we had DirecTV. And if you're familiar with it, you're able to watch the out-of-market NFL games. Well, there is one channel that legit will have a small box and have all 8 games. And you can ask my wife, you can ask my kids, that was my favorite channel. I was in heaven because I could let my brain, having one channel with 8 games and 8 different audios on it matched the inside of my brain, so it was like a perfect fit. These are things I never thought. I just thought I was all the things I've been told my whole life, and just weird and stupid. And those are the nice words. And So to read these things about ADHD, there's a bit of relief, because it's I'm trying to learn. It is okay for my brain to be wired differently. It does not mean I'm a misfit or a mistake, like I have been told my whole life. My childhood, my life with my family in my life. Let's try that. So it's been, I'm going through it. I'm just learning things, learning about hyperfocus. Man, when you get through one project and that's all you see and that's all you must do, and you will not let up until it's completed. Yeah. And just reading these things. And so I'm curious when I get the clinical testing. It's like 4 hours next month. And he's probably going to change the medication. I'm on Strattera now. I know that it's not a typical stimulant. It takes a few weeks for it to kick in. So I'm hoping, because I was telling him in the late afternoons with my anxiety medicine, I was getting really uncontrollably tired. And on top of being uncontrollably tired, when I'm that exhausted, I can't focus. And all of the anxiety, because all of my mental walls to try to keep things at bay like this are just collapsed when I'm exhausted. So everything it's like being in a boat that the bottom of it is a hole. There's no, so it's just water coming in and there's nothing you can do to stop it, and it's coming in fast. And that's what it feels like when I get tired like that. So we start talking about it. He was like, have you ever been diagnosed? I was like, no one's ever asked. I said, he's in my age group. I was like, we're 40s, we're late 40s. I was like, that was when we were kids. If you were like that, you were just told you were stupid or you were ostracized. In my case, it happened at home, that I was ostracized and told I was stupid and told I was weird and all of the negative words that I have not and would not use at my children, towards my children, or anyone else, any other human being for that matter. But I've lived with that, and I've lived with it. That's what it was. And I punished myself a lot so many times a day. I'm like, why am I so dumb? Why can't your brain function like everyone else's? So hearing this and reading all these things about ADHD symptoms, I'm like, I had a very dear friend of mine, Nora. Hi, Nora. Hi, Nojo. We were texting this morning, and she's one of Jarrell's godmothers. She's a very good friend. I call her my sister. And I told her, I said, reading these symptoms has brought me a sense of relief. And on another plane, I feel like I'm part of a tribe now, like a pretty special tribe. So it's been really fun, and I'm, doing more research on it and trying to understand and realizing when my brain starts to do, when my brain is doing, I shouldn't say starts, it does all the time, but when my brain's doing that, to pull back on the words, the way I talk to myself during those times, learn to give myself some grace, which I've talked about on my podcast several hundred times, and realize and recognize what it actually is. Not just the old school, okay, you're stupid, shut up, why can't my brain be like everyone else's? Why can't I just focus on this thing that I'm reading? Why am I rereading this page 6 times? Like, why can't I just know what's going on? Why do I need to have the TV on, a YouTube video on my iPad, and texting Damari on my phone at the same time for me to focus on what I'm doing? This is daily. This is not an exaggeration. This is hourly, if not daily. So this has been, these past few days have been sort of enlightening. So I want to do more vlog posts about it in this journey as well. And if you're someone that's been diagnosed with ADHD, easier for me to say, or you're a loved one of someone with ADHD, please speak out, let me know. I'm not alone, and I think that's been the greatest sense of relief in discovering these symptoms and understanding this diagnosis as I go along. I don't know. So, and if you're taking medication, let me know what you're taking and how you've liked it, or if there's medication you have taken in the past and didn't like it. Let me know what that is. Let me know what your side effects are. Let's make this an open dialogue, and I'll do more of these. So thank you guys for listening. Much love. One love.